All right, so estate planning and financial planning typically go very hand in hand, or at least they should. And so I want to talk about just 10 of the things that I see that we discuss with our clients, whether we're working with them on the investment side, because we do some asset management and investment for our clients in our wealth management division, or whether or not they have an advisor, they're working with their own advisor, or maybe have nobody that they're working with. And so just a couple of things that I like to speak about with them, because I tell clients, look, estate planning really deals with two things. First, it deals with incapacity planning, which is about what happens if you have Alzheimer's, dementia, you're in an accident, who's going to take care of you? And then also, secondly, after you pass away, who gets what of your stuff, right? That's what really most of the time we're planning for. But if you have no money and you run out of money, that's a big issue. And so estate planning might not even be necessary at that point. So it really should always be a conversation you're having with your estate planning attorney, and ideally you're getting it all taken care of at the same time. So anyways, I like to have that conversation with my clients, an ongoing conversation with my clients, because I just think, again, what's the point of doing estate planning? Well, there are points, but one of the main points is making sure that you're taken care of throughout your lifetime, and that you have the financial resources and necessary insurance and different things like that to make sure that you are taken care of. So a couple tips. Number one, educate yourself. And this might seem pretty basic, but unless you're a financial advisor, it's a lot of information, and a lot of people I know do try to do it on your own. I'm not saying don't do that, but get some help, educate yourself, just learn about the different options that might be available. And that's why it can be so overwhelming, and people do tend to turn to an advisor, because even though you could learn all the information, you've probably got your day job, you're doing stuff, and you just don't have the time to learn everything there is to know. But number one, educate yourself. Number two, take advantage of employer-sponsored plans. So there's a lot of great stuff out there, like 401ks, where it's basically free money. There can always be an argument why you might not want to use one, but or there might be other alternatives. But again, it just makes sense for most people that it's at least something you want to look at. Again, if you have an advisor, talk with him or her about it. And most employers offer something, so it's worth taking a look at. Number three, consider an IRA. So these are individual retirement accounts. Again, it's like a pension fund. There's a lot of tax advantages. Typically, they go hand in hand, very similar with a 401k. Something that you might want to consider looking at. Set up automatic deductions. So basically, each month before you get your paycheck, some money is going into one of those plans. It's just forcing you to save. Again, you've probably heard the phrase "pay yourself first." Well, if you get all that money, it's if you get your paycheck first, it's very easy to make sure you pay rent, pay for the kids' schooling, food, utilities, whatever it is. And then if you have enough left over, you might contribute some money into a retirement account or an investment account or something like that. The better way, I think, is get that money out of the way first. Put that into retirement, put that into, some sort of forced savings account. And then it forces you to live on the rest. It's much harder to do it the other way around. So set up some sort of forced deduction. Number five, just make the money difficult to access, right? Maybe you have an online money market account, a savings account or something. You don't even have a debit card. So you got to log in, you got to transfer the money to your checking. It takes a couple of days. So do something like that, so it's just harder for you to have direct access to it, where you're going to be less tempted to, go swipe a credit card, swipe a debit card. Number six, diversify your assets. You've probably all heard that, but you've heard it for good reason. So again, if we are working in our wealth management side of our practice, we're going to build very globally diversified portfolios. I see all the time where clients, maybe they worked at Boeing, maybe they worked at Ford, or maybe they just love Apple, or they love Elon Musk, whatever it is, and all of their eggs are in one or two, maybe three baskets. That is very dangerous. Even if you've had a very good long run, things happen. Things can happen very quickly. So diversify, look at that, and diversify is a huge conversation, more so than just right now, but that's definitely a conversation you want to have and determine how you're measuring diversification. What does that mean to you? What does that mean to the advisor you're working with? Does that mean 10 stocks? Does that mean all in the US? So again, just think about that. Number 7, is make sure you understand the fees that are involved in any of your investment plans, your 401ks, your retirement plans, stuff like that. Sometimes you'll see upfront what your advisor is charging. That's pretty standard, but there's other fees that you might not see, that might not have to be shown on the disclosures that they give you, such as the bid-ask spread, which again, probably longer than I have time for on this video, but just make sure you understand all the fees and ask your advisor about maybe some of those hidden fees that you're not aware of. Number 8, pay down debts. Nothing secret about that. Number 9, there might be a reason you might want to delay Social Security, right? So the difference can be huge. So that's something, again, if you're working with a planner, if you're working with an investor coach, something you want to ask about. And then lastly, again, kind of why I'm talking about it here, is make sure that your retirement plan is incorporated into your estate plan. Don't let the two be completely separate. You want to make sure that they're working together, both for planning purposes, for tax purposes, again, for legacy purposes. So again, that's why I always suggest to my clients, when we're doing the estate plan, I want to look at everything at that time. I want to look at the insurance policies. I want to look at the investments. I want to make sure that everything works together, so that you leave the office knowing that you have peace of mind protecting you in all of those areas.